Hi, boys and girls. It's Miss Kelly, and I wanted to share with you what kind of a special day this is today. It is Cinco de Mayo, and Cinco de Mayo means fifth day of May. It is the fifth day of May, and that is a very special day for celebration. And I'm going to tell you all about that celebration. And it has a lot to do with our new country for May. It is a brand new month for us, and we have our suitcase packed. We have a new flag on the front. This is the flag for Mexico. Mexico. And this flag has three colors on it: verde, green; blanco, white; rojo, red. Tres colores, three colors. And Mexico is a neighbor of ours. We live in the United States of America right here, and Mexico is right below us. Their land is actually attached to our land. And Mexico is our southern neighbor. They are to the south of us. But here's America, and if you go down, they are to the south of us. The orange one on this map is Mexico. And so we're going to learn a lot about Mexico this month in May, and it's just perfect because on the 5th day of May, Mexico has a wonderful celebration. And we also celebrate here in America. We celebrate the 5th day of May. Now, the 5th day of May is all about remembering something that the peoples of Mexico did a long time ago. The peoples of Mexico in 1862, they had to fight in a battle, the Battle of Puebla. And that was in Mexico. So the Mexican people are there in their country, and they have found out that there is a country across the ocean, way across the ocean, in another land, way over here. And over there, this country has decided that they are going to come over to Mexico and that they want to take the Mexican land for themselves. They want to make it part of their land. Well, the Mexican people, the people there heard about this, and they wanted to keep their country and their land for themselves. So they learned more about this plan, and they found out that this army from across the ocean was big. It was twice as big as their army and their soldiers. So they had all the equipment, they had a big army, they had all the soldiers, and they're going to come across the ocean to Mexico. And Mexico only has an army about half the size of this other army, and they don't have all the equipment they need to go into battle as soldiers. But they're going to give it their best. They say, we have to save our land. We have to go into this battle and save our land. So, the 5th day of May happens, and the army from the other lands comes in, and it's a big army, and they have everything they need. The Mexican army, it does not run and hide. It comes out and it goes into the battle, and they have this battle, and in the end, after the battle is over, do you know who won? The Mexican army won. They won the battle at Puebla. The Mexican people won, and they got to keep their land. They won that battle. And so now, on the 5th day of May, we celebrate that battle, the Battle of Puebla, on the 5th day of May that they won. And we celebrate here in America. We celebrate for them, and they celebrate in Mexico, and a lot of celebrations in America, and even in other parts of the world now. They will celebrate and be happy for Mexico. And even the land that is over here in the other part of the world that wanted to come over to Mexico's land, they're even now happy for Mexico, because that happened a long time ago, and they don't want to do that anymore. So all across the world, we celebrate with Mexico Cinco de Mayo. And it's a fun day of celebration. People in our country and around the world, they might dress up and wear some of the clothes that you usually see in Mexico. And that's what Miss Kelly is doing today. I have a sombrero on, and this is a hat that a lot of people in Mexico would wear. And mostly the farmers would wear this. The farmers would wear these sombreros out in the fields and the farms in Mexico because they have a lot of sun in Mexico, and the sun would be hot and burning. So they would put these hats on out in the field, and this brim, this part of the hat, the brim that goes all the way around, was really big, bigger than a regular hat. And that brim would keep the sun off of their face, so their face would not get burned. It was a really good sun hat to keep their face in the shade from the brim, and keep from getting a sunburn. So they would wear these sombreros outside. Now today, a lot of times when they have sombreros, they will be a party sombrero for a fiesta. Fiesta means party, for a celebration or a parade. And there's also a special type of clothes that comes from that part of the world. And I'll see if you can see it a little bit more. Yes, this is my poncho. And a poncho has no sleeves. See how there's no sleeves? This is my regular top I have on. But there's a slit or a hole where your neck and your head would go in. Then you just put it over the front and the back of you. And this would keep you very warm up in the mountains in Mexico and in Latin American countries. So up in the mountains, it would get colder, and they would just put their arms under the poncho and it would keep them warm. But if they needed to go back to work quickly, to work with their animals or their fields, their crops, they could move their arms really easily. They weren't tied up in sleeves. And they could just put their arms back in when they were done working and warm themselves up. And this is a very warm poncho. And then there's also some other clothes that come from Mexico. Let's see if I have my other ones here. Well, where did my other... Oh, I'll find it because I do have some more things to show you in my Mexico bag right here. So in my Mexico bag, I have their flag. And here's their flag. And can you see in the middle, there is an eagle, and the eagle is perched on a cactus plant, and he actually has a snake in his mouth. You might be able to see it more on my suitcase on that big flag right there. And it says, the story is told that a long time ago, before they had made their capital city of Mexico, that the Aztecs who lived there, that they were looking for a place to build their capital city, their big city. And they say in this story that they were out looking across the lands, and suddenly they saw an eagle swoop down from the sky, land on a cactus, and grab a snake in its beak. And the Aztecs believed that when they saw that happen, such a powerful movement of that majestic big eagle coming down and landing, that they say that told them we should build our capital city right here. And that's the spot where they built their capital city, right where they saw that happen. That is the story that they tell about their flag and why they put that on their flag. Now let's see what else we have in our bag from Mexico. So this bag is a bag from Mexico, and it says the word Mexico on it. What else do we have in here? Oh, this is one of those party sombreros that you would see on the 5th day of May. You would see dancers or the mariachi bands. Mariachi bands are Mexican bands that play wonderful music, and they dress up in really nice suits, and they wear fancy sombreros. And then this one would be more like one of the sombreros that you might see out on the farmers or in the fields. One of the workers would wear that. And this is a little sombrero attached to a serape. And a serape is like a scarf with fringe on the end. And they would wear these on their shoulders or around their neck as just kind of like added decoration, just a beautiful piece of cloth or material that they would make with their hands. And they love to have lots of color in their clothing. They would sew on some extra colors. So they would wear these kind of like a scarf or a shawl. That's a serape and a sombrero. And then also on the 5th day of May, you will probably hear some of these. These are called maracas. You probably know about these maracas. You can hear them shake. They'll usually put rice or beans or beads inside of them, paint them on the outside, and they'll make music with them. At their fiestas, at their parties, they'll shake them to go along with their music. So those are fun, and I have a lot of these I'll show you all month, different ones that I have for you. So we'll put these guys back in, and I'll have a lot more to show you all during May. And we'll make a little Mexico center in my little learning room. Here we go. Oh yes, here it is. That's why I couldn't see it. It's right over here. This is kind of like a serape, but they call them rebosos. Rebosos. And rebosos, lots of women would have these rebosos. And they would use these to wrap around their bodies. They could wrap them around their neck or around their shoulders. They could carry things with them. Sometimes they would carry their babies. They would attach their babies on them with a big one that was really secure. And a long time ago, the children, before they had backpacks like we all have today, they would use these to carry things and especially carry their books in. If they had a long one, they could get some books. I've got some right here. Mi primer libro de la Biblia. Oh, first Bible book in Spanish. So they would put their book in here. Maybe even I can get 2 in there. This is Are You My Mother? And that's in Spanish. We could read that in Spanish. And so the school children, if they had a reboso, they could put it right in there, put their books right in there, and that's how they would carry their books. They could carry their lunch in there, carry different things in there. The mothers would carry things in theirs. So again, lots of color. They love to make things with beautiful colors in Mexico. And this is one of their dolls that came from Mexico. They make a lot of things with their hands. They're very talented and they know how to sew and put things together with their hands, like all these beautiful cloths I've been showing you. And even their dresses, they can make their handmade dresses. And look at these fancy ribbons they'll decorate their hair with. So this is a doll that they would be selling as kind of like a toy or a party item for celebrations and decorations. And I'm going to give you a video link that you can follow in just a little bit, and you're going to see some Mexican dancing for Cinco de Mayo. And the girls will be dressed kind of like this. They're going to have colorful dresses on with lots of color. You might see some of these ribbons in their hair. And then you're going to see the boys in this video. You're going to see them wearing some fancy sombreros like this, and even their suits are going to look kind of like this, very fancy. And you can watch that video whenever I send it to you. But before we go right now, I wanted to read this little quick book about celebrating Cinco de Mayo. It says Fiesta Time, written by Sandi Hill. And you can see on the front some of the things that we already talked about. Their flag, sombreros. They're holding their flag. Oh, let's see what else is on the inside. Fiesta time. Fiesta means party. Today is the 5th of May. Let's celebrate Cinco de Mayo. What they're doing. Let's celebrate victory for Mexico in 1862. Let's have a fiesta. 1862, that was the Battle of Puebla. 1862. They're going to celebrate and have a fiesta. They have their sombreros on, their flags. Looks like they're doing fireworks. The streets are filled with the sights of Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo banners and balloons and foods. We see colorful dresses and Mexican sombreros. Yes, the dresses looking like this. The men dressed up so sharp and nice and their big fancy fiesta sombreros on. We see dancers spinning and clapping their hands. Looks like these guys might be doing the Mexican hat dance. That is a really fun dance to do, where you clap your hands and you dance. And there's the mariachi band. They're playing their music. The streets are filled with the sounds of Cinco de Mayo. Looks like they're having a carnival with rides. We hear the mariachi band playing and singing music. And there's the mariachi band right here. They play guitar. They have their sombreros and their fancy suits on, playing the horn. We hear the children cheering when the piñata is broken. The piñata. These are so much fun. And they have a lot of these in Mexico. They fill up the piñata with treats and toys and prizes. Usually the children wear a blindfold and they have a bat to try to break the piñata open. The streets are filled with the smells of Cinco de Mayo. Oh, the foods from Mexico are so yummy. You can see some of them here. I see tortillas and tacos and agua frescas, fresh fruit drinks. Yummy. We smell warm corn tortillas right there. We smell spicy beans and rice. Oh, yes, they do like that. The streets are filled with the taste of Cinco de Mayo. They're making even more over here. Yum. We taste tacos and enchiladas. That's one of my family's favorite foods. Baja tacos and enchiladas and tortilla chips and salsa and guacamole. Yummy. We love eating that. We taste sweet treats that fall from the piñata. Yes, sometimes there's candy in the piñata, sometimes toys and prizes, and we share it all with our friends. There is a feeling of pride in the streets on Cinco de Mayo, and we show it. Yes, they are remembering how brave their soldiers were in that Battle of Puebla in 1862. And we remember that every year on Cinco de Mayo, the 5th day of May. Now we know a lot about today. That's today. You can tell your family all about that too. So I hope you enjoyed learning about our special day and our new country, Mexico. And I will send you a video that you can watch of the dancing. That's really beautiful to watch. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.